I think everyone should look at the title of the YouTube channel. You're probably in the wrong YouTube video.
You're really quite something, you are.
Aren't I? But you're really quite nothing, right? You're not a Christian.
Okay, I'm done with him.
In a brutally revealing moment on a surrounded debate hosted by Jubilee, Jordan Peterson denies Christ. The video was originally titled One Christian versus 20 Atheists and has since been updated to Jordan Peterson versus 20 Atheists. Following the awkward moment, and as of today has over 3.4 million views. Here's the clip.
Why is that relevant?
Because you go to a Catholic church, don't you? Or you've attended recently. You're interested in Catholicism, aren't you?
Sure.
All right. Are you familiar with their doctrines?
Somewhat.
Okay, you're
Their
familiar.
doctrines are very
how do they
deep.
regard Mary?
Why are you asking me that?
Because you're a Christian.
You say that. I haven't claimed that.
Oh, what is this? Is this Christians versus atheists?
I don't know.
You don't know where you are right now.
Don't be a smartass.
Well,
and I mean
either you're a Christian or you're not.
I won't talk to you if you're a smartass.
Oh, either you're a Christian or you're not. Which one is it?
I could be either of them, but I don't have to tell you.
You don't have to tell me. I was under the impression
private.
I was invited to talk to a Christian. Am I not talking to a Christian?
No, you were invited to.
I think everyone should look at the title of the YouTube channel. You're probably in the wrong YouTube video.
You're really quite something, you are.
Aren't I? But you're really quite nothing, right? You're not a Christian.
Okay, I'm done with him.
The general reaction to this exchange has been one full of disgust and shock, especially for someone like Peterson, who largely fronts himself as being someone who carries and holds all of the ideals of a Christian framework. But at the top of the pile, we have my favorite Christian nationalist, Nick Fuentes, expanding on what he thinks is the end of the grift.
This kid asks him point blank, are you a Christian? He says, well, I don't have to tell you. Well, yeah, you kind of do. If for 10 years you are selling yourself as a prophet, which is, I mean, let's be honest. The way that he carries himself, the way that he markets himself and presents himself, it is like a prophet. He is acting like a modern day prophet with a novel fusion of psychotherapy and this Jungian tradition and some kind of Gnostic reinterpretation of the Bible stories. He has marketed himself as something like a prophet, some kind of novel pastor. Yes, at this point in time, we do deserve to know, we are entitled to know, what do you actually believe? Who actually are you? Young men have invited you into their lives to give them deeply personal advice. For 10 years, teenagers, college students, other young men, young adults have invited him into their lives with his self-help, self-authorship suite that he sells on his website, with his Bible talks, with the endless products that he sells. And they have looked to him as a rabbi, as a therapist, as a counselor, as a pastor, as a priest. And these people want to know, who are you? What do you believe? Do you even believe in God? Do you even believe in what you're saying? Do you believe in Jesus Christ? And cut the bullshit. Don't give me some 30-minute answer explaining what it means to believe in anything. You know what we mean. Do you believe that Christ lived as a man, but also as God? Do you believe that he died on the cross, descended into hell, freed the captives, appeared again to his disciples, founded the church, and ascended into heaven, seated at the right hand of God? Do you believe in that? Let's start there. Do you believe in original sin? Do you believe in baptism? Do you believe in these things that you imply that you do, that you have implied that you believe for the past 10 years? And he says, well, I don't have to tell you any of that. You're not here to debate a Christian. You're here to debate what exactly? What exactly are we here to debate? What exactly are we doing here?
I agree largely with everything that was mentioned there by Nick. And I think for myself, the easy comparison to draw from this is you think of Peter when he denies Jesus 3 times before the rooster crows in the morning. Jordan Peterson doing his own version of that although on a bigger stage with many more people in the audience to view. You also have others like 9mm SMG writing that a proud Christian would be one who would proudly proclaim it even with a gun to his head, highlighting the subversive nature of having someone who does not actually believe in your ideology being the one who is arguing the points for your ideology. As Sarah Stock writes, why is Jordan Peterson trying to represent Christianity when he won't even call himself a Christian? This is so subversive. To me, this exchange reflects and parallels the broader debates and discussions that are happening inside the right wing, largely many of which do revolve around Christianity and its further applications as it comes to pairing and coupling that with governance. Gatekeepers like James Lindsay, Constantine Conan, Joel Berry, and Seth Dillon have been at this for some time, and the relationship with the Daily Wire can also not be understated. Many remember when Candace Owens was subsequently pushed out for her very broad and exacerbated exclamation of "Christ is King." Again, the through line cannot be understated, as Jordan Peterson was recently brought on by the Daily Wire and signed for good money. Now, could there be another reason as to why Jordan Peterson would position himself this way? I find it less believable, but it's also plausible. And others have said possibly Jordan Peterson has fallen back into substance abuse. Here's Elijah Schaffer expanding on that.
I don't know if the left has just gotten smarter or the right has just gotten dumber, but maybe people should realize that that's why the right has moved away from these people, because there's just a whole lot of hot air. And I actually feel bad, by the way. I'm not saying I've ever abused substances, but I have met people who have. And, you know, it can really, really break you down internally, your security of who you are. And that's what I feel like we're witnessing. And I don't mean to be rude about it, because addiction is serious, but what I genuinely mean is that when you go through addiction, you often lose a piece of yourself. You have to gain it back by not doing those things anymore, right? By being a stronger version of yourself. Jordan needs to take a step away from the limelight. He needs to rethink his worldview. He needs to kind of, you know, bring back his persona, figure out who he wants to be, and then step back in, because right now, time after time, it's just embarrassing. He's embarrassing himself, and it's hard to watch because, you know, he was a little bit like a good mentor to a lot of us years ago.
In conclusion, I find what I saw in this exchange pathetic, and I think even more so a broader nail in the coffin to what many other conservative organizations have been doing for some time. Now, the big dogs like Daily Wire have clearly been in the news for it, and they are the top target for said things. But I have to go back to Sarah Stock. This is extremely subversive. This is once again individuals pretending and wearing Christianity as a skin suit and speaking word of mouth to the ideals, but do not actually hold them themselves. I'm actually probably more so curious to know what happens from here. Where do we go from here? How many times can the Daily Wire be shown that they are not an overt Christian organization, that they pull in and do things to avoid taking the more harsher Christian stances that many in the space have been doing? You look at others like Joel Webbin and Stonecrier, who have been making massive waves in the Christian community, as well as other smaller individuals like Jay Dyer. You also have Andrew Wilson. You have many people who have been rising up the ranks in the conservative movement, but would not align themselves with MAGA per se, because every single one of them has a more broader and in mainstream terms, radical application of where Christianity should be in its relationship with governance. Maybe this is the final we see of Jordan Peterson, and maybe he just wisped away into nothingness, as this kid said in the exchange. I find it brutal, and I do think Jordan Peterson lost harshly. Even if he had a bajillion other really good points, this one by itself makes the entire thing incoherent, and I find it to be, again, pathetic. But let me know what your thoughts are. I'm sure there'll probably be some people who disagree. Some people who probably drew major motivation from Jordan Peterson. I've pulled into some of his quotes as well, and it's wild to think that I literally just pulled a quote from him in my last video, and then this happened afterwards. Not to say one bad moment can make everything bad, or not to say like, you didn't say good things at once, but this was a shining moment to open inside of Pandora's box of what is Jordan Peterson. So let me know what you think. And again, if you made it this far, make sure you smash the like button. It helps me out quite a bit. and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.